You're watching the Isaiah Factor Uncensored.
Thank you for hanging out with us. It's that second half hour of the Factor Uncensored. Now, a Dallas anesthesiologist is accused of being a killer. New video from inside of a hospital shows Raynaldo Ortiz Jr., the doctor, tampering with IV bags. Investigators believe he injected poison into those bags, creating a dangerous IV cocktail that killed at least one physician and caused cardiac emergencies in 11 patients. I talk with my guests on how the hospital could have prevented this.
Dr. Ali, your motto for many doctors out there, all doctors out there, is to do no harm. And here this ass is out there poisoning people.
That's exactly right, Isaiah. Such a horrible human being, such a tragedy. And it's really horrible when I heard about this story. This anesthesiologist was taking IV bags and mixing medications that are used in other substances in other areas for anesthesia, such as lidocaine, bupivacaine, and mixing it into IV bags. And these IV bags were then administered in the blood supply. And as a result of that, it resulted in toxicity of that specific medication. And that led to cardiac arrhythmias and cardiac arrest. And unfortunately, a physician also died, amongst other folks who were hospitalized as a consequence of his actions.
This is a horrible situation. And it's our understanding, Greg Dupree, that Dr. Ortiz was placed under investigation. And that's when he got angry and started this rampage.
That's correct. He had a history of domestic violence. He had a history, he just had a history of violence prior to these incidents taking place. Honestly, he was someone who should have had his medical license taken away from him a long time ago, because to me, this guy is nothing more than a serial killer with a medical license. And it caused the unfortunate deaths, as the doctor said, of several people. But, as you read in the story, there were several red flags that could have been acted on, in my opinion, a long time ago. It makes me wonder, there's always a hesitancy on the part of law enforcement to prosecute their own or go after our own. And it seems like you do have a certain degree of that within the medical profession as well.
How can you spot someone with these types of red flags, Dr. Ali? Obviously, you don't expect an anesthesiologist who has a very sensitive job with administering drugs to patients. How do you spot these red flags if no one's saying anything or doing anything in that industry?
Yeah, it's very difficult. And that's why the administrators of the hospital, the folks that are looking at this gentleman's credentials, looking at his history, those are the folks that need to be more cognizant, more aware. When you see red flags such as these are physicians, these are doctors that need to be in the eye of, number one, administrators and also other physicians as well. Every hospital has ethics committees. They have different committees that sit down and review the performance of these doctors in general. And so I think that we could have taken some steps to be a little bit more faster in terms of our response. However, and to prevent such a tragedy like this from ever occurring in the first place.
And Greg, when you look at a case like this, and Dr. Ali says there are various committees that he would have to go through, do you think it should be something quicker and simpler? If you see someone with red flags, immediately pull him off the floor where he's not dealing with patients anymore?
Definitely. I think the reporting system should actually be tied. If any time that you have any questionable behavior on the part of a physician, there should be a reporting system in place that anytime law enforcement takes any type of report on this individual, it should automatically go to their ethics board or the medical committees that are responsible for monitoring these doctors. That would get that information to them a lot sooner, giving them the opportunity to act on it quickly.
And Dr. Ali, how will this affect the public's trust? When you have a doctor who's betrayed the public like this, just because he's angry, just because he's pissed off, how will that affect the public knowing that, doctors would do something or this doctor would do something like this.
Correct, Isaiah. I think that it comes down to the fact that this gentleman was a horrible human being who unfortunately got a medical license and practiced medicine for something that we trust him with our lives. And so, and this is a gentleman that's obviously did not need to be practicing medicine and took it upon himself to, as a result of his anger. And so, I must say that there is a very rigorous process that goes behind getting doctors licensed. The Texas Medical Board is very involved in this whole process as well. And so it's a very in-depth process. However, unfortunately, as a consequence of this gentleman trying to take revenge is where we ended up in this situation. A horrible, horrible tragedy.
And Greg, I'll ask you the same thing. How will this affect the public's trust, even though it's one doctor in this one case?
Well, just like anything else, it's sad to say that there will be people out there that see this as a blanket statement on all doctors and just feel a hesitancy to trust their doctors going forward, particularly as it relates to anesthesiologists. You don't know they'll feel that if they cannot monitor the IV bags that are coming out of their facilities that they're using in surgery, how are you going to feel comfortable about having surgery in the first place?
You're exactly right. Well, we want to thank you both for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored, and we're going to keep tabs on this case. It's just so disturbing and just mind-blowing that because he is upset about an investigation in another matter, he takes it out on the patients and ends up, according to investigators, killing another doctor who took one of these IV bags. It's just disturbing. But thank you both for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. We appreciate your time tonight.